Welcome back everyone, it's Eric from Rare Candy here. Today we are back with round 2 of the recent league challenge that I got to go attend at Cape Fear Games in Wilmington, North Carolina. So if you guys did miss it, we did upload round 1. I will have links down below inscription to that round and of course all of the future rounds of the tournament whenever they do get uploaded as well. But here in this one, we have on the left Simon Perry. He's going to be playing Mewtwo Mew hand control. And then over on the right, we have a player. She did agree to have these games recorded, but she did wish to remain anonymous. And she's going to be playing Cinderace over there on the right. So, normally I try to be pretty impartial during these games, but I have to say I am kind of low-key rooting for Cinderace. It's definitely one of my kind of like pet decks from Sword and Shield that they gave us. So I'll have to see how this is ultimately going to unfold. Here she is going first, getting out an attachment on this active Score Bunny here. And I do apologize about the glare. Hard to really tell what Simon has active. It does look like it's a Ditto Prism Star, and here we're just going to see some sort of Ball Search card. Now, I'm assuming that's what it is since he didn't discard anything with it. So more than likely he's playing Cherish Ball here to allow him to search his deck for a Pokemon GX. So depending on what his hand looks like, we might see a Deandre GX if he doesn't have a supporter, or if he does have a supporter, we'll probably just see a Mewtwo Mew hit the bench. Okay, so this period is going for a Deandre GX. That can also be good too if he has some Pokemon GX in his hand to go with it. He does have some energy, so that's good as well. So, okay, so that's not too bad of a Deandre change. So of course with Deandre, you discard your hand and draw 6. So getting energies in the discard, good with any Malamar deck. Also, he was able to get a Naganadel GX in the discard pile as well, which is good because that means Mewtwo Mew GX can copy the attacks of any of those Pokemon GX that are there. But here it looks like he is going for, it looks like a Quick Ball or a Mysterious Treasure this time. We saw him discard that Giratina. That's a great discard target as well, since you can always get it back out of the discard pile whenever you might need it. So here he does find himself his Mewtwo Mew GX. That of course is going to be the main attacker of the deck. It does look like he is starting to maybe second guess going for the Mewtwo Mew. And so it looks like he was a little bit torn between the Inkay and the Mewtwo Mew, but here he's going to use another Mysterious Treasure, getting that Inkay down. So definitely good. He wants to get as many of these Inkays down first turn as possible. That way he can start accelerating energy with his Malamar on future turns. And I'm pretty sure we haven't even seen a supporter yet, so we might see that Professor's Research, so that is going to allow him to discard his hand and get a new hand of 7. Now the one thing he does have to be careful about, he has discarded a good bit of energy already, so he definitely needs to prioritize finding himself some Malamars on this next turn to be able to get those energies back onto his Mewtwo and Mew. So here we're just going to see him retreat into Dedenne, preserving that Ditto. That to me probably tells me Simon has some sort of switch or air balloon or something like that in his hand if he's just promoting the Dedenne here. But let's see, over there on the right, our player playing the Cinderace deck is going for an Evolution Incense, it appears. And it looks like she's debating going for a Raboot, so I like that if she is going to evolve into the Ditto in particular. And it looks like she's going to go for a Cynthia, so that seems good to me. Now, of course, the things she wants to do with the Cinderace deck, she wants to get some energies in the discard pile, that's one of the big things, and then I think it's unlikely to get the entire combo she needs to get an attack off this turn. But if she can just find herself maybe a couple more Score Bunnies or Jirachis, that could be pretty good. Maybe get down another attachment for the turn as well. I think she just kind of wants to develop her board a little bit more. I think an attack is pretty unlikely off of these 6 cards. Because she would need like Rare Candy Cinderace, like Quick Ball, Fire Energy, another Energy, Switch. Like she would need a good bit. I just don't think it's going to happen. So here she is going to, looks like, get an energy down on this Raboot on the bench. So just spreading her energy around a little bit here. And looks like she is going to go for a switch. I do have to say I'm not a big fan of the switch here, just because she actually doesn't mind discarding the energy because the Cinderace will be able to get it right back out the discard pile. So I think I would have liked to have seen her just hard retreat or just leave this Raboot safe on the bench, because the 20 damage on the Dene really doesn't do too much in terms of changing the math for Cinderace to take a knockout. So I think it would have been a little bit better just to save this Raboot and keep it safe on the bench. So we'll have to see what's going to happen though. So we see Simon getting 2 Malamars up online. That's exactly what he wants to see here. And he is going to use that Psychic Recharge ability on Malamar. It's going to allow him to accelerate a Psychic Energy out of the discard pile to one of his bench Pokemon for each Malamar in play. So of course he's able to get 2 on this Mewtwo Mew GX. And so we'll have to see if he's going to be able to take a knockout here. But here he is going to play a Marnie, new supporter from Sword and Shield, of course. Both players shuffle their hands, put them at the bottom of their decks. You draw 5 and your opponent draws 4. So let's see. It looks like actually the hand that the player on the right drew, really not too bad. We see a Jirachi, another Score Bunny, and a Lily. So honestly, really solid hand off that Marnie. And Simon's probably just going to debate what he wants to do with his turn. He could go for a Poltergeist on Gengar Mimikyu GX, since I believe he does have that in his discard pile, or we could see him just buy some time and go for a Horror House GX, and that looks like what he might be doing here. So if that is the case, both players, well, normally if you just have 1 energy, your opponent can't play cards from their hand on their next turn, but if you have an additional energy, both players draw until they have 7. So that's definitely going to help both of them refill their hands. But the extra cards for your opponent really doesn't even matter too much, just because Poltergeist on Gengar Mimikyu punishes them for the amount of trainer cards they have in hand anyway. So Simon really doesn't mind too much seeing the Cinderace player get some more cards here. Now this is definitely a situation though where I 100% want to see a retreat into another Score Bunny and just save this Raboot if at all possible. But here we're going to see just an attack for 20 and get an energy down on this this Raboot. Now the one area where I could see the math actually being relevant from this 20 damage is if Simon plays Big Charm. The 20 actually could change some of the math a little bit once you factor in Giant Bombs, because I think we did see a Giant Bomb in her hand earlier this game. So we'll have to see if it does wind up being impactful, but normally I would like to see her kind of preserve this Raboot and try to keep it safe. But looks like Simon's getting down another Mewtwo Mew. And it looks like he's debating if he wants to get down an additional NK. I don't think that's a bad thing. The more Malamars you have in play, generally the better. So here he's going to Psychic Recharge, start powering up that other Mewtwo Mew on the bench, just in case this active one does get knocked out or damaged a little bit. Then from there, I'd imagine we'll probably see a Poltergeist to just take a knockout if I had to guess. So for Poltergeist, your opponent reveals their hand and then does 50 for every trainer card in there. So definitely enough to knock out this Raboot here. So this is definitely, I think, the Cinderace player's window. So she does have another Score Bunny. That's definitely a good start. We see the Jirachi. That needs to come down. We see the Recycle Energy. Recycle Energy needs to come down onto the active, because ideally, kind of her way she wants to play this is hard to retreat into Jirachi, attach Recycle Energy, and then after she gets done playing her Lily and using her Stellar Wish on Jirachi, she can use that switch that's in her hand to switch back into hopefully a Cinderace and do 190 with its attack. So that's definitely, I think, what she needs to do here. She does have a Quick Ball. She might just be considering, do I actually want to play that? And here she is going to go for a Fishing Rod. She definitely needs to leave some energy, though. So here, as long as she leaves 2 fire energies in the discard pile, that's kind of okay. Now, I do kind of wish she would save the Fishing Rod for whenever she's able to get back either a Cinderace or a Score Bunny. Because the middle evolution usually isn't that big of a deal, because you play typically more outs to the middle evolution than you would your basic or stage 2. Because figure, I'm not familiar with her list, but I'd imagine it's probably 2 Raboot, 4 rare candy, so she has 6 outs to a stage 1 effectively. 6 outs to a bridge between the basic and stage 2, whereas she only has 4 Score Bunny, 4 Cinderace in total. But here we're just going to see a Lily. And I'm really concerned for her turn, because now she actually isn't going to be able to get an attack, because she did... Well, actually, there is a world where it could still happen, I suppose. Because she does have a Switch. She would need Switch and an Evolution Incense or Pokemon Communication to make this happen. Now, I don't know if she has a way to dig with like a Dedenne GX or something, but that would allow her to still pull this off. But the fact that she attached to the bench Score Bunny is actually going to prevent her from attacking, because she needed to attach to the active and retreat that one, and then save her switch for whenever she's switching back into a Cinderace. So I think we might have seen, a couple of sequencing missteps on having, kind of an optimal turn here. Now, granted, the game is still pretty early on. We've only seen, Simon take a single prize here, but I definitely think there's some order of operations and some slight changes I would have liked to have seen on the Cinderace player's turn, if at all possible. But here it looks like she's going to get down a giant bomb just to kind of say, you know what, you can attack into me, you know, even though I missed the Cinderace, but if you are going to do a lot of damage, you're going to have to take some damage in the process. But not a big fan of the giant bomb here because the Mewtwo Mew deck has a lot of outs to playing around it. Giant bomb, it's a really cool card. It only activates if your opponent does 180 or more damage to the Pokemon with Giant Bomb, but then they take 10 damage counters. It's a really good card, especially against these tag team decks. It makes the math for Cinderace work out really well. I'm a big fan of the Giant Bomb, but Simon has a number of different ways to play around it. He has the Naganadel GX to snipe the bench. So if she was going to, I think, go the Giant Bomb route this turn, she should have used that Quick Ball to grab a Mew. That would have been good. But also, Trevenant Dusknoir GX can do 150 and just take a knockout that way and just bypass Giant Bomb. So yeah, not my favorite turn from the Cinderace player. But here it looks like Simon's going to retreat, going in with this Mewtwo Mew. He has the 4 energy on it, so I'd imagine we're probably going to see a Venom Shot. That, of course, is going to be the attack on Naganadel GX. Does 170, but you do have to discard some energy in the process to use it. And before he attacks, he's just going to gear up to start powering up this bench Mewtwo Mew again. Here you can see he is going to use that Naganadel GX to snipe this Scorbunny on the bench. And I do like that as well because that's going to make it harder for her to get off an attack because the Cinderace, it has a really cool ability. It only activates when it's on your bench and becomes your active. So leaving the Scorbunny in the active does require our Cinderace player over here to need a few more cards to complete this combo this turn. But let's see. So here, I think what I really want to see is I want to see her attach the Recycle Energy to the active and retreat. Absolutely, for sure. And then from there, she can use the switch in hand to become the active again and get off an attack. And that way, she can also use a Stellar Wish along the way to get set up and hopefully get herself a supporter to keep on going. She has a Quick Ball to get on her Scorbunny as well. So the big thing is she absolutely just has to attach Recycle Energy to the active and hard retreat into Jirachi. But here we're going to see a Quick Ball, hopefully find herself another Scorbunny. So she is going to grab another one out of deck there. Definitely good, just because whenever this Cinderace goes down, inevitably she's going to need to set up an additional one on the next turn. And here it looks like she's debating attaching, but that was one of her big missteps last turn. She needs to not attach specifically to the bench Scorbunny here. Yeah, but here she's getting out that Recycle Energy, so now she's kind of forcing herself to have an additional combo piece. And if she retreats this Scorbunny in the active, she's not going to be able to... She's basically conceding having an attack this turn because she does have to discard that Fire Energy, because Cinderace, its ability is really cool. It gets you 2 Fire Energies from the discard whenever it becomes your active from your bench on your turn. But now she's down that 3rd energy she needs to attack. So yeah, really not a big fan of this line of play that we're seeing here. But guys, I will say this too, not everyone is used to playing on camera, having their games recorded. It is a little bit nerve-wracking for players a lot of the time if they aren't used to something like this. I will say, try to go easy on people here in the comments section. I've even been subject to this before. I've caught myself making some misplays and stuff I think otherwise wouldn't do. When I kind of felt like I was on stream at events and had like extra eyes on me, sometimes it does, make your nerves go a little crazy. So again, just try to be respectful down in the comment section if players do happen to misplay. But let's see, it looks like she's going to pass. Now, again, I'm not a big fan of leaving the skateboard on this Jirachi just because it's probably going to get knocked out and she's not going to really get any benefit from it. Because it's going to get discarded effectively before she can use it. If she's going to attach, I think would have liked to have seen it on the benched Jirachi in anticipation of maybe a knockout in the active. But here it looks like we're going to see a switch from Simon into that other Mewtwo Mew. And I imagine we will see a Venom Shot, I would imagine. So here it looks like that is going to be the case. We're going to see a Venom Shot on the bench Scorbunny. But at least this Jirachi now, is safe, and the escape board will actually get some use. So now this is definitely her turn, I think, to make something happen. I think she stumbled a little bit on those last 2 turns unnecessarily. This is definitely her turn to get back in it. We see a Marnie in her hand. Definitely want to see her go that route because she has the rare candy Cinderace. She has the recycle energy back in her hand from when that Score Bunny got knocked out. So she definitely has the energy to make that happen. And oh wait, did she actually get the recycle energy back? Oh no, she did not, I don't believe. Yeah, I don't think they caught this, but yeah, she should definitely have that recycle energy back because, of course, recycle energy, whenever it gets discarded from play, your opponent gets it, or the player that was using it gets it back to their hand. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully this doesn't come back to affect the outcome of the match at all, but she definitely should have had access to that recycle energy nonetheless. But here, one of the big things is we actually don't see another... We don't see another Score Bunny here. And after the Cinderace goes down, she might be out of attacker. She's already used her fishing rod as well, so she's not going to be able to get back any of the Score Bunnies. Her Ditto is gone. Now, she might still have one left in deck, but the issue is at this point, once this Cinderace goes down, there's never going to be another safe Score Bunny on the bench unless she can find herself a Mew, because basically anytime she benches just one Score Bunny, Simon can always use Venom Shot to just pick it off before it can evolve. So if she does have another Score Bunny left in deck, she needs to find herself a Mew as well. But here Cinderace is finally going to get an attack off, has a really cool attack, does 190 for 2 fire and a colorless. You discard 2 energy, so of course the big synergy with the card is even though you're discarding your energy, every time it comes to the active, you get 2 energy. So between 2 fires from discard and your recycle energy, you always have kind of like this infinite loop of attacks as long as you can find yourself Cinderaces and rare candies. So looks like Simon, he's just kind of like, as you can see, rotating between these 2 Mewtwo Mews and recycling the energy on them with Malamar as needed. And here we are going to see it looks like a Venom Shot knocking out the Cinderace. And now, you know, we definitely need to see a Mew and a Score Bunny in the process here if the Cinderace player does have any hope of getting back into this match here. Now, if she plays a second Ordinary Rod, or if she has a Lana's Fishing Rod in deck, that would also be really good. That will allow her to get one of those Score Bunnies back. So no sign of a Score Bunny. Now she does have access to Stellar Wish, so she can definitely do that and try to find one that way. But again, the big thing is she needs 2 basics. She needs Score Bunny and a Mew, or 2 Score Bunnies, either way. So here she is going to get a Quick Ball off of the Stellar Wish here. And so you have to think, if she does go for anything, I think it would have to be the Mew, if anything. Just because she literally just can't bench a Score Bunny at this point. Because of Venom Shot. So here we are going to see the Quick Ball. So let's see what she has left in deck. We do see the Mew, but there's actually, it looks like no more Score Bunnies left in deck, and I don't see any other recovery cards. Like, I don't see Alana's Fishing Rod, I don't see an Ordinary Rod, so she's just going to have to grab the Mew. Now, unfortunately, this damaged Mewtwo Mew is not within range of Mew taking a knockout with Psy Power. Otherwise, I would say she still has a chance because she could, theoretically, I guess, go in with that. Well, actually, I don't even know if she would still have a chance because Simon only has 2 prizes left, so I think this might actually be checkmate at this point. Here, she's just taking a peek, checking everything she's used, just trying to see if there's any potential out. But unfortunately, I think the game probably is over. I think Simon probably has this one wrapped up here. So yeah, there's the handshake. So Simon is going to take round 2 of the League Challenge with his Mewtwo Mew like hand control deck. So that is going to be the game, guys. Of course, like I said, though, if you did miss round 1, I will have a link to that. And of course, all of the other rounds, whenever they do get uploaded, down below in the description. But if you guys did enjoy this content, of course, feel free to like and subscribe, and consider supporting this channel as well by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg, or by picking up some merch from our online store, rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.